This program is presented by University of California Television. Like what you learn? Visit our website or follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the latest UCTV programs. Also, make sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube original channel, UCTV Prime, available only on YouTube.
UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Westwood for UCLA Bruin Talk. I'm Dave Marcus, joined by Allison Taylor. Glad to have you with us today. It's summertime, so we're going to talk about the water. We're going to meet one of the guests from one of UCLA's up-and-coming programs in just a few moments.
Before we meet our first guest, let's take a look at the upcoming events.
One of the great success stories at UCLA is the emergence of the rowing program as an NCAA power. The program really starting from nothing not too long ago, and they have become very good very fast, and it's talented athletes like Kat Lauer who have been a big part of that. Kat, you're entering your junior year this year. First of all, welcome to Bruin Talk.
Thank you.
We talk about this rowing program. I mean, it really was a niche sport at UCLA, and it's a national prominent power now.
Yeah.
Tell us about being a part of that rise.
I think it was great coming freshman year. We were having a building year. We didn't reach our full potential, and then last year, really, we made some waves, and it was great just to finally, be a presence at NCAAs.
Now, I was going to stay away from all the jokes about a program that's making a splash, but you started it with making some waves. So tell us about your career. You were a good rower as a freshman, then you got into the varsity 8 as a sophomore. That's the big boat.
Yeah, that was my goal coming in freshman year, was to make varsity. I think it was just my competitive spirit, so I'm just trying to keep my seat this coming year with all these transfers and upcoming freshmen.
You just mentioned your competitive spirit. Your coach, Amy Fuller-Kearney, has, I've heard, said that you were feisty and able to switch gears at times. Explain to us what that means. I mean, I know you pretty well, so I know how feisty you are, but explain to us what Coach Kearney meant.
I think I'm usually a very happy person, and I'm like all bubbly, and then once I'm in the boat, you just see me go, and I just get like that fire, and everyone's just like, don't mess with her. So I think that's what she's talking about. I just kind of like switch my mentality to fight.
Well, how important is it to be able to switch back after the competition is over? I mean, that's a big part of actually being successul is being relaxed when you can be relaxed.
Yeah, I think that was really important at NCAA's this year. We didn't make the finals, so that was pretty disappointing, but then we still had a race. We still had the petite finals. And so just being able to like have a positive outlook and just go and say, we're gonna win this race. So that's what we did.
The petite final is both 7 through 12 who race again, and UCLA came out on top.
Yeah, so we were racing Stanford and Yale. They were right next to us, and we were just like, we're gonna do it. So it was just having that resilience.
When you're in a moment like that, do you flash back on all the hours on the ergometer and all the weight training? I mean, does that kind of flood through your mind as you're ready for the start?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think what I always remind myself is I came this far and I put all that work in. I'm like, I better go as hard as I can, because giving up is just like, all that work is for nothing.
The team has made an appearance at NCAA championships 2 out of the last 3 seasons, which, as we've been talking about, is a great accomplishment. This program is kind of up and coming. What's your strategy looking forward to this next year to ensure that you guys are at that national championships again next spring?
Well, we have one of the hardest conferences. I would say we have the hardest conference if you look at the standings from this past year. Top 5 teams in our conference were in the top 10 in the nation this year. So that just shows how deep the West Coast is. So I think we're really just going to gun and take some of those guys out. Yeah.
It's summertime. A lot of people go to the beach in the summertime. What does a rower do in the summertime?
Wake up at 5:30 still, get my workout in, and then I go to class all day or I go to work all day, so I switch off.
Do you spend any time in a boat during the summer?
Marina Del Rey is 15 minutes away, but I've actually just been training on the erg, so I go to the beach on the weekends. That's about as close as I get to the water.
Your rowing season is in the spring, but you have a lot of fall meets to get ready for it. Mm-hmm. When do you really start thinking about competition and getting back in there?
Like right now, yeah. Just because the more you train over the summer, the better you're going to be first day of practice, and just getting my aerobics in.
So I've been watching the Olympics and the rowing competitions, and it's something that's totally foreign to me, but I just realize how much of the power comes from your legs. And I think most people think, oh, to be a rower, your arms have to be ripped, right? Because you're pulling the oars. Yeah. But tell us a little bit about the physical aspects about what goes on in a rower's body when you're actually doing the rowing.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because I obviously didn't row all my life. I used to play a bunch of different sports, and it's really a pry with your legs, and then you're gonna like swing back with the oar. So you're really like prying and then sending the boat away. It's a totally different move. Everyone just like makes this motion, and you're just like, no.
Well, when you get on the rowing machine in the gym, the seat is sliding all over the place, back and forth.
So you're doing that in the boat as well. Yeah.
So you have to have a very strong core.
Yeah. That's the most important.
A lot of weight training. Mm-hmm. We talked about your head coach, Amy Fuller-Kearney, but you've got assistant coaches too. A new coach, Victoria Burke, joins the Bruins. She's a former rower from Virginia, class of '09. What kind of interaction do you have with the coaches on an ongoing basis as you get ready for the season and then get into the season?
I've talked to them a couple times. We actually went to our coach's house on Friday to watch the opening ceremonies, so that was fun. Victoria couldn't attend because she hasn't arrived yet, but we had Justin there too, and so a lot of the local rowers came and just got together. But I talked to them on a weekly basis.
I want to go back to something that you mentioned, you playing more than one sport back in high school and maybe even earlier than that. But what made you decide to be a rower? How did you get into rowing? You played basketball, lacrosse, soccer. I mean, where the heck did rowing come from?
It was actually, I was interviewing to go to a private boarding school. And the guy who was interviewing me was asking me about my sports. And he said, have you ever tried rowing? Because you're already 5'11" and you're like a 14-year-old. So he was like, you should try it. And so I went to a couple camps. I went to like the Yale Bulldog rowing camp. And then I met coaches there, and they said, you really should, look into this. And it's a great team sport, and I just fell in love with it.
We talked about your early success in your UCLA career. What are you working on to improve even more as you go into your junior and senior seasons?
I think I'm going to work on probably my personal record, so my 2K score, and then all around just being an all-around better student athlete. I think I just have a lot of room to grow. So.
You're also, as an upper class person, you're going to be a role model for those incoming freshmen. It's going to be an interesting role, passing on some of the things that you've learned. Who were some of the biggest positive influences for you when you started here at UCLA, growing up on the other coast and then coming out west?
Rachel Labella, my freshman year, she was a senior, and she was in the varsity boat with me, and she was from New Jersey, so we kind of connected on that level, but she was just an inspiration. But then also Britta, she was a year older than me, and she just really helped push me, and she's on the U23 team, second time, so she's what you want to be as a rower, so it's just great to have those people still here around to push us.
Coming from Connecticut to California is a big move. What was the adjustment like?
It wasn't as hard as I thought. My parents actually moved with me, so it's been a lot easier. I definitely miss my friends, but just staying focused with what I came here to do was really the easiest part of the move.
I want to look ahead in your career a little bit, a couple years down the road. Once you finish here at UCLA, you've graduated, and what are you going to do when you move on with your life? Do you have professional aspirations as a rower? Are we going to see you in Rio in 2016?
I don't actually, a lot of people have been asking me that. I don't know what's going to come. It honestly depends on how I do the next 2 years, where I go, if I try, or if I go for a professional career.
In the varsity 8, where are you in the boat? Are you port, starboard?
I'm a starboard. I'm actually learning to row port, though.
Does it make a difference? And if it does, what's the difference?
It's honestly just what muscles you're using. You're going out to one side or the other. So my right lat might be bigger than my left, but that's really the only big difference.
Because as you're pulling the oar and pushing your feet, I imagine a lot of the core stuff has got to be pretty centered.
Yeah, you're just really pulling differently from your outside arm, so your center kind of gets a little off. That's why I want to learn to row port, just because it'll bring me back to normal.
We watched those great shots during the Olympics of the camera that follows the rowers up the channel. As you're in the boat, do you have any clue where the other boats are?
Yeah. I actually got caught at NCAA's looking, because the coxswain's telling you where you are, but I mean, just from a competitive standpoint, you just want to know. And I remember NCAA, she was calling something, and I was like, wait, they're not that close, are they? And so I mean, you kind of have an idea, just because it's better to know than not, but you're not really supposed to.
The chemistry you have with a coxswain is pretty important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. They're our coach on the water, literally. People are like, oh, they just yell at you. I'm like, no, they are. There are eyes, there are ears, they're everything. So they're really important to us.
Well, Kat, congratulations on your early success at UCLA. We look forward to great things from you in the next couple of years.
Thank you so much.
And we'll come right back for more UCLA Bruin Talk after this brief public service announcement.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA, champions meet here.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Bruin Talk. It is now time to honor our Student Athletes of the Week. This week, we honor the UCLA football team as our Student Athletes of the Week. A new season is afoot for UCLA football, and there are high hopes for the team under the new leadership of head coach Jim Mora. The team started their preseason camp on August 4th at Cal State University San Bernardino and will remain there until August 16th, when practice sessions will be open to the public. Jim Mora believes this move will be a positive experience for the team. The UCLA season will open with a game against Rice on August 30th. At the Pac-12 Football Media Day, Mora stated, "We are very excited to be here, and we're excited about the upcoming season. Every game we get better, playing our best football at the end of the year, and doing great things that make UCLA fans proud. Congratulations, football, and good luck with your season." If you would like additional information about UCLA athletics, please visit our website at uclabruins.com.
One of the great things about UCLA is that while the student experience is a limited lifespan, the experience of being an alum goes on forever. And UCLA has a very committed group of alums. Our guest is a UCLA lifer. Lily Tsao is a former student at UCLA, lifetime member of the Alumni Association, now working for the Alumni Association as the Director of Alumni Outreach and Engagement. What does all that mean?
What that means is within Alumni Outreach and Engagement, I lead a team whose role is basically to connect our over 400,000 alumni all over the world with each other, with UCLA, and with their respective departments within the university.
The James West Alumni Center is right in the middle of campus. It's near Pauley, it's near the Morgan Center, but people walk by it as their students and really don't know what goes on in that building. Tell us about the efforts to get people involved again after their college days are over.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we invite people to join the Alumni Association. By the way, I didn't know JWAC, as we live on acronyms here at the university. I didn't know it existed there either until I came back to apply for a job there. And what we do is we encourage people to come back and join the Alumni Association. For me, one of the most exciting things about being a member is really an emotional one. It's about a sense of belonging to UCLA, and there's so many benefits associated with membership in the Alumni Association.
Lily, we mentioned that you didn't even know that JWAC existed, and I know that your department works with students that are still in school, actually, which for most people doesn't make a lot of sense. It's an alumni center while you're working with current students, but tell us a little bit about how you get students involved while they're still students so that they stay involved after they've graduated.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about raising up alumni, right?
Yeah.
So we're transitioning them, if you will. And so we have a great organization. It's called the Student Alumni Association. And that association basically connects alumni with students to enhance their experience while they're here, to facilitate that lifelong loyalty to the university.
You have had a very successful career as a businesswoman, business owner before coming back to campus. Networking, professional networking, keeping in contact, it's such a big part of business. I think students don't actually grasp how important the relationships are as they go on in their future life. Tell us about some of the ways the Alumni Association fosters that continuing communication.
Oh, absolutely. What we do is we help our alumni all over the world. We help to form networks all over the world, and a huge part of these networks, previously called clubs and chapters, are all about creating networking opportunities for the alumni in those regions, whether it be professional or personal. We tell students that every connection you make is a possibility for the future. It's kind of like that 6 degrees. So what we do is to help the students understand that once they're out of college, all of those connections that they've made, hopefully while they were still a student here, will come back to be a benefit in some way, whether it's personal or professional.
It's always amazing traveling with athletic teams to go on road trips, and you go into an arena that's obviously hostile territory, and there's a big group of Bruin fans, and then you realize that there are get-togethers and the different chapters or different networks that you now have. It's really something that I think a lot of student athletes don't even think about until they get in the arena and they see the people there. What a great connection for the current and the past of UCLA to come together.
Absolutely. And for all of our networks, they encourage alumni who are moving into the different regions, passing through the different regions, students who are returning home, because they come as far as New York and actually all over the globe. So when they're returning home, to connect with the alumni. Again, it's all about establishing a relationship, establishing a connection which will last a lifetime. And whether their interests are centered around sports or some type of academic subjects, whatever it is, there is a way of connecting no matter where you are.
There are some alums who, the day they leave campus, they know they're going to maintain close contacts. Others, out of sight, out of mind. How do you reach out to those that really haven't contemplated staying in contact with their university?
Well, you know, we recognize that our alumni are as different as, you know, anyone in the whole world. So the interests are varied and the commitment is varied. For some, being committed and being engaged and involved means that they're going to be at every event and they're going to be actively involved as volunteers in the networks. For others, it's simply receiving information. They just want to know what's happening with UCLA. For others, it's, you know, really volunteering and being a part of the UCLA community. And for others, it's donating. So we offer our alumni all of these different ways to remain connected. And the level and the extent, it's simply up to them.
UCLA is obviously a prestigious university, athletically, academically, even socially, I would say. What kind of advantages does it give your office to work with such powerful, successful, passionate Bruin alumni? What kind of effort do they give back to you guys?
Oh my gosh, I am so awed by the caliber of our alumni. The great thing about having successful and passionate alumni is when you couple the two, you have great give back to the university in what we term time, talent, and treasure. So Tom, I alluded to a little bit earlier, that's, you know, we're talking about tens of thousands of hours of volunteerism for or on behalf of UCLA. Talent, we have amazing talent, and so they give back in terms of advances in medicine, technology, inventions, film. The list just goes on and on. And then, of course, treasure, that speaks for itself. It's donations. It's supporting the university. It's giving back to the university, whether it be for scholarships or advancing research. It all comes together when our successful and passionate alumni give back.
Staying in touch in the old days was a lot harder. There was an alumni magazine that arrived on the doorstep once a month, but now with electronic media and social networking, it's easier than ever to really stay in touch, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that it's easier, actually. We do have a challenge with that. Our alumni are so mobile, and again, we have over 400,000 spread all over the globe. And unfortunately, it's not always their first thought as they're moving all over the globe to update their information in the alumni database. So that is a challenge that we have. So we're always encouraging alumni as we go out to the regions to please update their information and to spread that information. But we do certainly, yes, have now technology which enables us to connect with alumni anywhere, just like that.
One of the experiences a lot of recent graduates have with the Alumni Association used to be going and looking at the bulletin board and seeing what job postings were up there. Tell us about the electronic ways now that the Bruins post job openings for alums to take advantage of.
Well, we have Bruin View. So Bruin View is a place for job listings and intern opportunities. It is a benefit exclusively for UCLA alumni and students, so they can submit resumes there. They can reply to job postings, whether it be for part-time, full-time, or seasonal employment, not only within Southern California, but actually all over the U.S.
You mentioned earlier that you're a UCLA alumni yourself. How rewarding is it for you to give back to the university that I'm assuming gave you so much? I know it gave me a lot when I was here. I mean, it has to be just gives you joy every single day to work with these alumni and current students.
It does. It absolutely does. Being an alumna and working at the university is really like a dream. And I love getting up and going to work. I look forward to it. And there is no better job in the world for an alum of UCLA than to actually be here working on behalf of the university, making UCLA known out there for the stellar institution that it is, but also a university that is very concerned with the Bruin family internally, as well as the community externally.
There's some alums out there watching this show. They haven't joined the Alumni Association. What are the benefits? What are the things they're going to get out of joining up with this group?
Oh my goodness, how long is our segment?
As long as you can tell us.
There are a lot of tangible and actually intangible benefits. Of course, some of them are professional networking, career guidance. There is access to facilities on campus and off campus. There is the opportunity to travel within the UCLA travel program. And I've been fortunate enough to host some of these trips. And so that also is a benefit of membership. And again, for me, one of the most important things is the feeling of belonging.
Okay, I want to ask you kind of a two-pronged question.
Okay.
So we're talking about how great and how happy you are to come to work to every day, but I want to ask you about what some of the challenges are. You've mentioned a few, getting in touch with people, not being able to maybe connect with them since they don't update their database or anything. So what are some of the challenges, and where do you see this Alumni Center progressing to in the future?
So I talked about the challenge of maintaining the database, and I believe that that is not an issue solely for our institution. I find that as I'm speaking with my counterparts in other institutions, they face the very same challenges. So that's something that's ongoing, but we're working on it. And I also wanted to mention we have BruinWorks, which is our new online space that gives our alumni an opportunity to search for alumni, anywhere they go in the world. They can search by region, by profession. So that's a wonderful way for our alum to be connecting with each other going forward into the future. Also, when it comes right down to it, even as technology has increased our ability to connect, at the end of the day, people still want to get together. So one of the ways that we're progressing forward is to increase our alumni networks all over the world. And even in regions where we don't have formal networks, we have established or identified alumni contacts. And those are basically our conduits to the region. And they serve as a point of contact through which alumni can connect with each other and the university can connect with them. We have met with great excitement, and so we have over 100 networks all over the world.
I think the exciting thing is that there's always been sports boosters clubs, but the Alumni Association is a way for people that may not just want to connect over sports, who share common interests or maybe living in Stockholm to find other Bruins and to get together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have one alum in particular who went to the Beijing Olympics and wanted to connect with our alumni there and was able to. In fact, our alumni, a few of our alumni were actually working on the Olympics, and so we're able to take him on a behind-the-scenes tour. So that was a wonderful way for him to connect. He's on his way to London, and we'll be connecting with our alumni there. Actually, they're having a big event which they're partnering with athletics to connect the alumni who are not only in the region, but those that are traveling in for the games.
UCLA Alumni Association has their own website. What is it?
It's www.alumni.ucla.edu.
That's pretty easy. Well, wonderful talking to you, and best of luck in your outreach activities.
Thank you so much.
And wonderful talking to you too. Glad to have you again with us on UCLA Bruin Talk. That's going to be it for this show, but we'll see you next time with another great show. Until then, for Allison, I'm Dave. So long from Westwood.